Axed manga. It sucks, but it's something that happens all too often. Promising series are cut quickly before reaching their peaks. In today's video, I'll be talking about another manga that is at risk of being axed, and why I think it's way too good for that, and how we can stop that from happening. The Bugle Call, written by Mizuku Sora and illustrated by Higoro Tamori, is a phenomenal dark fantasy manga that blends large-scale military battle with fascinating powers used by special members of these armies. In this video, I will not be doing a deep dive into the story and powers, but rather a smaller pitching of the series. If you want to watch a more in-depth video on the Bugle Call, then I would say to check out my other video on this series. I'll link it here and in the description. After I pitch the manga, I will talk more about the manga situation and how we can help. Also, a big thank you to Wimosuka, a really good YouTuber who makes content related to art and manga. They made the thumbnail for today's video, and you should definitely go check out their channel. I will link it in the description below. Now please enjoy the video. The Bugle Call follows a boy named Lucas who works as a bugler for a group of mercenaries. He also has a tree branch growing out of his head. I'll explain what that is later. He hates his life and only finds enjoyment from playing his bugle and wishes to become a musician one day. His life takes a drastic turn during one battle. A large battle takes place and a mysterious group arrives on the battlefield. A girl strides alone into an open field and the cavalry goes to attack her, but with inhuman strength, she dispatches the soldiers and launches a horse into the air that strikes Lucas, leaving him injured. All he can do is watch on as his side loses the fight and begins to slowly bleed out, but something compels him to grab his bugle and he begins to play. Light shoots across the sky, amazing everyone, including Lucas, and he's creating it. He smiles and continues playing. The lights begin to direct the soldiers to weaknesses in the enemy's army. They follow the lights and begin turning the tides of battle. The lights also form as rows in the sky that the soldiers follow, and they begin forming solid columns that improve their chances of success. After the battle, Lucas collapses due to his injuries, but is caught by someone. It's a member of that mysterious group from earlier. A girl comes over and using some power, she transfers half of his wound onto herself, saving him. The leader of Lucas's mercenary group agrees to let him go with the group so long as they teach him how to become a musician. They agree and he leaves with them. That's the basics of the first chapter. I and others were hooked and wanted to see where Lucas's story would go. Now I'm going to talk more about the world of this manga and what makes it so fascinating. In the world of the Bugle Call, there are 9 towers spread evenly throughout the world, and the simple goal is to destroy the nations they situate and control their towers. And yes, that's a very watered down version of the plot. The towers serve multiple purposes, like knowledge on architecture, agriculture, and warfare strategy, as well as giving the Rami their powers. The Rami are the people with branches sticking out of them, and this branch directly links them to their towers, giving them their powers. But Rami all have to stay near the towers or they will lose their powers or even die. The towers also have a representative that can enter the towers. An example of a representative would be the Pope from the Pupil State who convinced Lucas to join them as their captain. A massive draw to the Bugle Call is without question the Rami powers. They are incredibly diverse and exciting to learn about. Battles ultimately come down to who uses their Rami powers more effective in battle. Lucas, for example, is incredibly powerful because he can lead large-scale forces very precisely, and the other Rami of the Pupil State complement him extremely well. But a well-rounded team isn't unstoppable, as some Rami are incredibly powerful. For example, there is a Rami who manifests meteorites, but the drawback of their power is that it can only be used once a month. Another can quite literally create black holes, but his powers are weakened due to his age. The powers can also improve people's quality of life, as we see in the Land of Mirrors. The Mirror Rami has the power to transport things through her mirrors, so she has spread thousands throughout her kingdom that aid in shopping, news, and security, and many other things. The Mirror Rami is also terrifying to face in battle, with her mirrors having many uses in battle. She is honestly an amazing character overall. The diversity of the powers is amazing, with drawbacks that keep the abilities from being broken, like Zoe, who has super strength. That alone is pretty boring, but how she gains her strength is honestly really cool. The Pope tells Lucas that she borrows strength from her future self, and that's literally what she does. She can borrow a month's worth of her strength from the future, but use it for 1 minute, condensing and multiplying that strength to make her unstoppable for that period of time. The drawback is that she has to sleep off the time she borrows, and what we learnt is that before we meet her in the story, she woke up from a 17-year sleep. She used up 17 years of her power in one go. This is just one example of the fascinating give and take that each Rami needs to work around. Honestly, after the conclusion of this manga, I intend to do a long deep dive into the Rami powers because it's genuinely one of the most fascinating power systems I've read in manga. This manga is genuinely such a hidden gem and deserves so much more attention than it's getting, and in the next part I'm going to detail more of its situation and why it's not doing so well. Now, to the unfortunate side of this video, and this manga is struggling. It's gotten so bad that when I went through the top 500 manga for the week, I couldn't find it, and yes, I went through all 500 for about a month and a half of the rankings. This means that it's selling less than 1,200 copies per week, which would honestly have gotten a lot of other manga cancelled already. So yeah, it's hard to know the exact sales when it can't even crack the top 500. There isn't one reason for this, but rather a mishmash of a lot of different things, one of which is a lack of advertisement. Now I'm sure it was better in Japan, but I struggled to find anything online when I looked. The only thing I did find was a trailer for the French release by Ki-un on YouTube. It's actually a really cool trailer that animates panels from the first few chapters, but yeah, a lack of advertisement has definitely hurt this manga. This manga is published in Jump SQ, a monthly publisher under the Jump banner. It came as a replacement to Monthly Shonen Jump in 2007. Jump SQ aims for the same audience as Shonen Jump, a younger male audience, with a few manga that are slightly darker, and I think this hurts the Bugle Call as it's a darker series with very serious topics and a good look at the tragedies of war. I, as well as a lot of its readers, view this as a seinen. Although it's categorized as a shonen by some and a seinen by others. I know it's wishful thinking, but I wish the series was published by a seinen magazine, as I think it hits a lot more beats that would resonate with seinen readers than it does with the shonen readers. Even looking at the popular manga from Jump SQ, you can see that what is performing looks more shonen. I cannot say that with absolute confidence as I haven't read these series yet, but from the quick scan I did, they look very shonen-y to me. But please, feel free to let me know if I'm wrong in the comments though. Now, how can we turn this around? Well, for starters, buy the manga if you have the means to. The official English release by Viz comes out on June 3rd, and I will leave a link to this page in the description as well. I've already heard that it's in stores such as Barnes & Nobles, so if this is a series you care about, purchasing the manga is a great way to help it. Also, spread the word to any other enjoyers of fantasy, as word of mouth is the best way to spread information around. Hopefully Viz advertised this manga ahead of its English release as well. This manga seems to have a decent following outside of Japan. I mean, it has 18k followers on Mangadex. I know Mangadex isn't the be-all end-all of the manga world, but to put it into perspective, Ichi the Witch broke One Piece's 25-year record of being the only manga to take the #1 spot for a week in Shonen Jump in its first 10 chapters. That has 26 follows on Mangadex. Chojin X, Sui Ishida's new manga that is consistently in the top 50 manga sold each week, has 16k followers on Mangadex. This proves to me that there is a following out there that needs to be targeted more, and I hope the English release gets more eyes on this series, so I implore you to go out and support this manga if you can. The Bugle Call is a phenomenal manga that a cancellation would be seen as nothing less than tragic. A rushed ending due to poor sales would also be very sad to see, especially with the recent developments in this series. There is a twist in the recent chapters that to me are on par with Attack on Titan's twists in how crazy they are in the series, and for those that have read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I really hope in this video that I've convinced you to try this manga if you haven't, and I hope its sales go up so that we can see the full potential of this series. Well, that's it from me. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!